I listened with great interest the other day to officers at the West Midlands Police explaining their policing process. They were quite eloquent. They weren't as embarrassing as people from the Home Office who come along and say, "Ooh, we don't have those figures." No, they had all the answers. They were armed to the teeth with a refutation for everything. Everything was couched as reasonable. Everything was well prepared. I felt proud of my police forces. But I couldn't help feeling that there was some inappropriate policing went on here. Firstly, there was what seemed like racial profiling. When pressed on the examples that they had of violence and trouble at this Israeli football team's matches, they fell back on basketball, other football teams. The only thing these teams had in common was that they were all Jewish. And it seems that there was trouble at a basketball match, so therefore, well, Jews are all the same, aren't they? So Jewish football fans were going to have trouble. Oh, there was trouble according to a taxi driver who couldn't be tracked down. Oh, there was trouble, which it had to be pointed out happened after the refusal of a licence for the team fans to come. So there was post-rationalisation, and there was a lot of racial stereotyping. And there was also a lot of consulting of communities. I was quite surprised how the question of whether there should be a visit from a football team seemed to be, who should we ask for advice? Well, the mosque, obviously, they must really like football. I sometimes go to a church charity shop, and they have a lovely little coffee shop. And in that coffee shop at the weekend, they often have that Bobby on the beat, a local copper who's there to pretend that we still have Bobbies on the beat and to answer any questions. And he seems very pally and friendly and affable with the visitors to the shop and with the staff who I assume are in some way associated with the church since it's a church charity. But I never see him asking them how he should police. It's policing by consent. He's giving that warm and fuzzy feeling to the parishioners. He's not asking them whether or not there should be a football match or any such like, what laws should be enforced. So despite the well-prepared and slick presentation of the police officers, I'm still left with a question I couldn't answer, other than why was it that they profiled people on the basis of being Jewish, and why was it that they were pretending that data came from before they made the decision, and I guess the third one would be why they saw the absence of trouble at an Israeli football match had to mean that it was before it was put on the computer. Could it possibly have been that there wasn't trouble at that match? Could that be what really happened? Inconceivable. It has to have predated computers. And I guess the fourth question I was left with was, why was it that the West Midlands Police, when formulating a policing decision, their first thought was, but what will the imam say? Is it that they have an interest in football? It can't be that they think that they're going to violently attack those people, because as they were at pains to point out, they weren't able to find any evidence of violence or trouble, and they really avoided that phrase, community tensions, as much as possible. So why is it that the Westminster Police's starting point for policing a football match was what will the Muslims think? I hope they're not suggesting that they have a violent streak as much as they imagined that any Jewish footballer must be tarred with the same brush. blamed for attacks on them in Amsterdam. Policing really has become a complicated thing, hasn't it? It's hard to wrap my pretty head around.